Okay, welcome back. Whoa, whoa. I hope you guys all had a good break. I heard it was very wet here, which is a good thing. A quick announcement. I sent a B-Space announcement this morning, but I'll say it here in person as well, to finish up your RPP credits this week, and you must allocate them within Experimetrics to Psych 163 of them if you actually want the credit. You can have 100 credits in Experimetrics, but if you don't allocate them, you have 0. Okay, and we cannot deal with many students coming to us and saying, I forgot to allocate. Okay, because we don't get that data. All we get is the allocated credits, the 160 for the credit report. Okay, I think Thursday is the last day to be in an experiment, and Friday is the last day to get on Experimetrics and allocate it to 160 and whatever other courses you have. Are there questions at all about RPP? Okay, we are going to post RPP scores and iClicker scores sometime after Wednesday's lecture, but before the exam, so you'll have a chance to see where you stand on those things and make sure everything's right, and contact your GSI if there's a problem beforehand, because the exam's pretty late. We want to get them graded and everything all set to go very soon after the exam. Okay, so you will get a chance to see iClicker and RPP grades, that portion of your grades, by the end of this week or early next week at the very latest. On Wednesday afternoon, I will post the review sheet for exam number 3. The GSIs are looking over draft versions of it right now, so you will have the review sheet a week and a half in advance. Okay, and on that review sheet, it'll tell DSP students where to go. It'll say when the review session is, which will be the Friday before the Monday, et cetera, et cetera. I believe the exam is in here. No? I can't remember, actually. It does? Okay, the exam will be in here, so that's good. Okay, 2 more lectures to go. We are still talking about prejudice, stereotyping, and discrimination. The events of last week and the Ferguson, the absence of an indictment, and all that was leading up to it, and all that has transpired since the grand jury announcement makes it clear that race and prejudice and stereotyping and discrimination is still very much a big issue, especially in our country, making the things we're talking about all the more relevant, important, and interesting, I think, to consider. We were talking about different roots of stereotyping, prejudice, and discrimination. We talked about what I see as sort of the most fundamental source of these things, and it's just part of our cognitive machinery, our tendency to categorize like with like, whether we're talking about cars, DVDs, or people of different races, sexual orientations, religions, what have you. We talked about learning as a potent source of stereotypes, prejudice, and discrimination. Jane Elliott's 3rd grade classroom experiment, other socializations besides teachers like parents, friends, siblings, and so forth. We talked about media broadly defined, the culture, the internet, commercials, movies that we see, all sources of potential stereotyping, prejudice, and discrimination knowledge. And we ended last time talking about sort of a biggie category in the sense that social psychologists have had a lot to say and have a lot of data, done a lot of research on the notion of stereotypes as schemas. And if they are like schemas, which they are, but they refer specifically to a certain group of people, if you have it available in memory and it's somehow made accessible and it's applicable to a target of judgment, you may well get stereotyping, prejudice, and discrimination. We then talked about divine studies, Trish Divine studies. There were 3 of them. But here's the gist of her argument. Let's go through this. Okay. Remember, the heart of her argument is that, yes, we all do have stereotype knowledge stored in memory, whether it's about women and men, jocks, Cal students, Stanford students, blacks, whites, Muslims. We have knowledge like that stored in memory, and it's potentially accessible, made accessible by cues out there in the environment, consciously, outside of our awareness, consciously or unconsciously. But what she wanted to argue is that knowledge, having the knowledge stored in memory, doesn't necessarily mean there's no way to be not prejudiced. That it's also possible to have that knowledge but not endorse it, and instead have unprejudiced beliefs, egalitarian beliefs stored in memory instead. So stereotype activation, that stereotype knowledge you have, it may well be activated sometimes automatically, but prejudice need not be inevitable to the extent that whoever you are, you've developed non-prejudiced beliefs, and they too are stored in memory. And given that they're probably lower in accessibility, at least early on, because they're newer beliefs, they're less frequently activated, presumably. But if you have enough motivation and ability to engage in controlled processing, you can exert the effort to suppress the influence of those automatic stereotypes and instead activate your non-prejudiced beliefs. You with me? Pretty straightforward. There's hope. There's hope. You can develop non-prejudiced beliefs, and you can use those to make sense of the world instead of your stereotype knowledge that you've picked up through socialization agents and media and so forth. So according to Devine, the key to escaping prejudice is controlled processes. And this should be ringing tons of bells, except it's Monday and we're tired. But if it were not those things, it should be ringing bells, because you recall in the first unit of the course we talked about schema maintenance, all these factors pushing for schemas to stay the same. The primacy effect, confirmatory hypothesis testing, self-fulfilling prophecy, automaticity, we're cognitive misers, we're limited in our resources. Aha! But if you have the motivation and ability, in other words, you can engage in control processes, you can change your schemas. And that's the idea we're coming back to here with regard to stereotypes. So how exactly is change possible? Okay, it requires controlled processes, but what do you do with that those controlled effort, that controlled processes? Inhibiting prejudice responses is like breaking a habit, a physical habit you have, like smoking or twirling your pen or shaking your leg, what have you. You need to practice until the non-prejudice response, not smoking, not twirling your pen, not shaking your leg, not whatever weird quirk that you do, until that response is extinguished, until it can be replaced by the non-prejudice response. You need to practice the not smoking response, the not prejudice response, over time until its accessibility, its default nature, its dominant response nature, right, the default chronic response, it becomes a chronic response. Its accessibility comes to rival the accessibility of the stereotype knowledge you have. You with me? So do you guys buy this argument that it's possible then? So even though on the one hand things seem a little bit bleak, because we all know we've got gender stereotype knowledge in memory, we all know we've got all these negative views of X, Y, Z group in society in memory, and if there are cues out in the environment, it's possible that this knowledge gets triggered and colors our judgments of other people. But if you practice enough those non-prejudice responses, they can win the day eventually. In fact, there's research that was done 5, 6, 7 years after Devine's research suggesting that there are some people out there, okay, that there are many different kinds of automaticity of stereotyping, and there are some people out there who actually don't show any automaticity of stereotyping. These are the people that succeeded in getting their non-prejudice responses to rival and beat, to win out the race, the accessibility race, over stereotype knowledge, the no automatic stereotyping group. So this work by Russ Fazio, you're going to read about all different kinds of implicit measures in your textbook about stereotyping. In your sections, you'll talk about the implicit attitude test, one of many different kinds of implicit measures, automatic, unconscious measures of prejudice. And it's a measure that Fazio used that relied on reaction times. It's not that important exactly what was done, but if you're interested, the logic was they would show participants a face of a black person on the screen, followed very quickly with positive or negative words. And they looked at the speed with which people responded to the positive versus negative words after being primed with black person. And the logic is that people who are more prejudiced are going to show greater speed in responding to black followed by negative words than black followed by positive words, suggesting they have a negative association with black. Whereas a non-prejudiced person is not going to show that asymmetry in response to positive versus negative words. In fact, they may show quicker responses to black positive than black negative. You with me? So the typical automatic stereotyping response is very quick to respond to negative words after seeing black, slower to respond to positive word after seeing black, because you don't have that association. But the non-prejudiced person does not show that kind of reaction time pattern. And there are people, the no automatic stereotyping people who don't show that particular pattern. There's also other two groups of people. The first group of people, I'm going to say it, are not people you probably want to be around. These are people who show automatic stereotyping, show the black negative association, and don't have a problem with that. This is what they think. It's all cool with them. And then there's the second group, which is probably a lot of us, who show hints, at least, of automatic stereotyping, negative associations with certain groups out in society based on what we've picked up, but we do have qualms about this. We want to suppress it. We're working towards being that no automatic stereotyping group. So I'm still accidentally laughing at some sexist joke some comedian says on TV, but I'm not feeling good about it. There may come a time when I hear some sexist joke. This is not really true. When I hear a sexist joke, I'm in the no automatic stereotyping group already. I'm pissed off. Okay, but there could be some of us who are still laughing at certain jokes, but aren't happy and sort of catch ourselves afterward. We would be in the automatic stereotyping, but want to suppress group, working towards severing the link between whatever group it is and negative associations. You with me? Yeah? Yeah? Okay. So where are we headed here? Okay, get your eye clickers out. You guys are going to have to trigger your memories, okay, of what I taught you about Divine and what you read about Divine. It's going to require you thinking back to her studies and her ideas that the reason why stereotype activation, stereotype knowledge has an advantage over non-prejudiced beliefs for most of us is because we've been exposed to stereotype knowledge for so long. There's a lot of frequent activation of stereotype knowledge. Keep that in mind. Okay, based on Divine's findings, who would you expect to be least likely to exhibit traditional gender stereotyping and prejudice? Arabella, who was raised by parents who are both high-powered lawyers. Simone, who had a roommate her freshman year in college who was a feminist. Lainey, who grew up with 4 brothers. Stella, whose best friend in grade school later became the president of her college sorority. This is subtle. Looking at my GSI faces, they're scrunched. So it's a subtle, hard question, okay? Who would be least likely? Okay, they're the no automatic stereotyping group. Who would be that person, that no automatic stereotyping? Who wouldn't show the traditional automatic stereotyping that Divine says many of us succumb to? And we'll analyze why the correct answer is the correct answer. Okay, get your eye clicker in, because this could be the only eye clicker question today. I'm not sure. We'll get to the next one. So get your response recorded. 5, 4, 3. Someone need to be good. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay, the correct answer is. Oh boy, let's see what happened. All right, the correct answer was A, and definitely not E. Okay, interesting. It went down like that. Okay, 45% of you got the correct answer that I had intended. And what was the idea there? Why was answer A correct? Lawyers. So the idea was they've presumably been exposed to non-traditional gender roles throughout their life. She grew up for a long time in this household, all through her life. Okay, got it? Okay. Simone, who had a roommate her freshman year in college, was a feminist. That's great, but that's like 1 year out of her life. Lainey, who grew up with 4 brothers, who cares? Okay. Stella, whose best friend in grade school, later became the president of her college sorority. Who cares? I mean, she saw her in grade school. This is 12 years later. It really is irrelevant. I was just making up answers as foils. Anybody want to argue with any of these answers? There's quite a few of you who put B or C. What were you thinking when you put B? Who put B? Nobody wants to admit it. Yeah, why'd you put B?
Well, I ruled A out because I thought maybe them both being high-powered lawyers make her in a certain socioeconomic status that might make her Annabelle or Arabella more prejudiced.
Oh, okay. Okay.
And then I got B because she was exposed to it.
Okay, so she put B because she was exposed to it, and she was thinking social class-related things about A. Maybe they were really rich. Maybe who knows? Okay. Yeah. Okay. We're going to hear an argument for B. All you B people, go for it. Okay, so let me rephrase. So what you're thinking, if I understand you correctly, your argument would be supported more if Simone actually got to choose her roommate.
Yeah, I guess that would make her
Stronger. Okay. So he's thinking, as children, you've got these role models who are very non-traditionally gender rolled, but they're your parents, and you're not choosing to have them as your parents, so maybe you're actually going to rebel against their way of life. Whereas in college, she's perhaps choosing to be with this very feminist person, choosing to be with someone who endorses these non-traditional gender stereotype beliefs, all under the idea that control processes involve some sort of choice, conscious, voluntary, intentional kind of effort. Yeah, totally possible. Okay, but you get the thinking, okay? But A is a slightly better answer for a question that's not so great, okay, admittedly. Okay, let us move on. We are going to actually try an in-class exercise that I need volunteers for, okay? I need to begin with 4 volunteers who are wearing sneakers to come up to the front of the room. 4 volunteers who are wearing sneakers. Don't worry, it's not going to be hard. You're not going to do anything embarrassing. Okay, 1 over here, 2. Come on, volunteers wearing sneakers. I need a girl, a female, a girl wearing sneakers. Thank you. Over here, another sneaker wearing male or female. Back there, come on, guys. Someone wearing sneakers. Yeah, I'm looking at you guys. Sneakers. Come on, let's go. Thank you. Are you coming? Great. Okay, 4 sneaker people over here. I want 4 non-sneaker people over here. Non-sneaker people, volunteers. You coming? Okay, 1, 2, non-sneaker, which would be the rest of you, presumably most of you. Okay, back there, and 1 non-sneaker wearing guy. Wait, we got a lot. Okay, come, Judy. That's fine. We'll do 5. Over here. Can I get 1 guy who's not wearing sneakers? Is that possible? Is there a guy out there? Come on. Wearing boots today? No. Flip flops? Yeah. Come on, 1 guy out there not wearing sneakers, and it's totally fine that you're not. What? Was there someone? No, I'm fine. Oh, 4 and 4. Okay, now I need 2 observers of this group and 2 observers of this group. All you gotta do is observe and write down what they say. Can I get 2 on this group? You can be wearing anything, okay? As long as you're wearing clothes, you can go be an observer. Come on, you 1 over here, 1 more, let's go. Hello? Come on, it's fine. There's nothing embarrassing. 1 more, come on over here. Yeah, thank you. Okay, I need 2 over here observers. Bring a pencil. Will you come? You in the white, yes, I'm looking at you, yes. And you, thank you. Bring your pencils up here. Okay, here is your task. you four get in a group, look at each other like you like each other, okay? And you are the observers. What I need you guys to do, okay, you are the sneaker wearers. I want you to come up with as many reasons as possible, okay, why the other group is wearing the shoes they are. So why are these people not wearing sneakers? What are the possible reasons why they're not wearing sneakers? And I need you to write down what you hear without showing them the list. What you hear. You see the instructions? Okay. You're focused as quickly as possible. You need 4 minutes to come up with as many reasons as possible why they're not wearing sneakers. Okay. You need to come up with as many reasons as possible why the heck they're wearing sneakers. Okay? And you're to listen and write down what you hear. See the different columns? Okay. You've got 4 minutes to go. Go. Come up with as many reasons why the other group is wearing or not wearing sneakers. Okay, not so loud. Not so loud, please. You talk too loud. You talk too loud over there. Dude, you talk too loud. Can you talk quieter? Okay. And let other people talk. Lord. I didn't do this last year, to be honest. But that means there's no telling how this can come out. One more minute, guys. Okay, 30 seconds. Okay, that's it. Everybody sit down. Give me the green sheet, guys. Thank you, volunteers. You can chime in when we go over the output. Thank you, guys. Thank you. Sneakers group. Okay. Oh, so this is the negative? Okay. You might need to come read these for me. Okay. Okay, guys, we've talked about different sources of stereotyping, prejudice, and discrimination, social categorization, learning, a biggie, stereotype activation, and use. And I want to talk about one more source. Whoops, I guess this would have been useful. Yeah, up there. One more source of these things, and that's in-group versus out-group categorization. So this is going back to social categorization as a sort of fundamental source of stereotyping, prejudice, and discrimination. But what I didn't bring out earlier when we talked about social categorizing the world into different groups is a lot of times, if not all the time, when you're doing that, not only are you categorizing other people into a group, there's also an implicit or explicit categorization of yourself into a group. That is, into that same group or into a different group. Is that other person a member of them, the out-group, or a member of us, the in-group? Okay? The in-group, that's us, the group, you, the groups you feel a sense of belonging with and you identify with. I'm a Cal student. This is your in-group. You are an Apple user. Okay, you're a Mac user. You are a Muslim, what have you. This is your in-group. And the out-group is Stanford students, University of Michigan students, other groups, okay, that you don't identify with, that you don't feel a sense of belonging with. Those PC users over there, okay, those non-Mac users. Why does it matter? Who cares that we do this? Again, what's the big deal that there's some people we see as part of us and some people we see as not part of us and part of them? Well, let's look at the kinds of things that our sneaker folks thought about the other group, right? We have an in-group and an out-group, people who wear sneakers and people who don't wear sneakers. Okay, that's an in-group and an out-group. All of us in this room are a member of one group or the other. I'm part of the non-sneaker group today. You're part of the sneaker group today, an in-group versus an out-group. Here's what the sneaker folks over here had to say about why those non-sneaker folks were not wearing sneakers. Well, the first thing I'll say is you can see that I had them write down positive and negative things they would say about the other group. And one sheet looks like about even Steven, positive and negative things to say about the other group. But overall, it seems like that group had more negative things to say about the other group for why they weren't wearing sneakers. So things like their feet smell. They ran out of socks, didn't do laundry. They don't own any sneakers, don't know how to tie their shoes. I cannot read that. Fat ankles, not athletic, lazy, care more about appearance, less comfortable, vain, stand out. Positive things they wrote were they want to jump in puddles, they want to change it up. Can't read that because it's fall. Okay. Other negative things they wrote. Oh, okay, here's this person can write better. Okay. Self-handicapping for a sport they play. Whoa, that's social psychology. Oh, the fat ankles issues was they wanted to cover them up, you see, so sneakers don't. They outgrew their jeans.